Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our highly anticipated first webinar of 2025 entitled As Built and Solutions for BIM Enabling Projects. This webinar will be delivered by our esteemed and knowledgeable speaker for today, TS Razak Wong. So this webinar, which is hosted by PCSS, is also supported by the Association of Professional Technicians and Technologists, or APTT, and also the Sarawak Multimedia Authority. My name is Muhammad Zin, and on behalf of PCSS, I will be your host for this afternoon session. And we are excited to have all of you with us today as we dive into today's webinar.
Yeah.
So a few housekeeping rules before we begin. In order for us to ensure a smooth and engaging webinar experience for everyone. So first and foremost, please be informed that this webinar will be recorded for future viewing for everyone, and also for those who are unable to attend for today. So if you miss any part of it or you want to revisit the content later, you can visit it on our official YouTube channel at PCSS Consultancy. And also don't forget to subscribe to keep updated on our latest offerings as well. Secondly, we would also like to request to all our participants in keeping their microphones muted throughout the webinar. This will help minimize any background noises and ensures that everyone can hear our speaker clearly. Last but not least, we also highly encourage active involvement from our audience, so please feel free to drop your questions in the chat box throughout the session. We will do our best to address them. And also, lastly, attendance will only be shared through the QR code at the end of the session, together with the feedback form. So do stay with us until the end of the session to be able to scan the QR code. So now, before we begin, I'd like to do a little introduction on PCSS. PCSS is a premier project management solutions provider focused on enhancing organizational profits through the implementation of industry-leading practices. With expertise spanning from project management offices or PMOs, software, training, integration, planning, and team management, we want to ensure our clients are able to achieve sustained success in project delivery. And backed with over 35 years of collective experience in project controls, we offer specialized solutions that elevate capabilities and maintain a competitive advantage. As a one-stop shop, PCSS is also committed to meeting diverse project management needs. Moreover, we specialize in digital construction, covering BIM, 4D simulations, optimization of tools such as drones, AR, VR. These are all just to name a few. And also this emphasizes our dedication to staying technologically advanced and providing innovative solutions for the digital transformation of the construction industry in the region. So with that being said, I believe we're all set for an informative and engaging session. So let's get back to our main event. So ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I introduce our distinguished speaker for today's webinar. So please join me in welcoming TS Razak Wong. So a little introduction about our esteemed speaker for today. TS Razak Wong is a reality capture specialist in 3D laser scanning, photogrammetry, scan-to-BIM, and also BIM application. He is a Malaysian born in Sabah, hailing from Kota Kinabalu, and he has completed his first degree in Surveying and Mapping Science in 1998, and he also holds a Master of Business Administration, MBA, in 2004, as well as a certificate in BIM from the UK in 2020. He is now the project director, of which the core business are supplying digital construction workflows and also modeling services using international and local BIM standards. He leads a team of BIM model specialists in delivering A&A works with proven scan-to-BIM services, and also applying BIM in live construction works, also with 3D laser scanning, and also has a great interest in 3D visualization, virtual reality, digital twins, and also digital crime scene reconstruction. So combining advanced digital solutions with a vast experience in the industry, I'm pretty sure we all can't wait to gain some valuable insights from our distinguished speaker for today. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming TS Razak Wong on today's webinar topic entitled As Built and Verification Solutions for BIM Enabling Projects. So, Mr. Razak, I shall now pass the floor to you. So, whenever you're ready, please take it away.
Thank you. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep, all good.
Oh, good, yeah. Okay, right. Thank you for the short introductions. Yeah, just make it casual for today's sharing purposes for that matters. My name is Razak. Razak, you can call me Razak Wong. Okay, so I'm glad that I'm being asked to share some topics on regarding scanning, modeling, and we are sharing some of the past records, some local experiences for that matters. Right. I think a short introductions of the company. Prior to that, I'm also the president for Peruan BIM Malaysia, of which is formed in 2023. Okay. As you can see from the screen itself, okay, these are the objective, okay, of this our group of BIM so-called enthusiasm, the so-called professional as well, come to form up a pertubuhan, is to ensure that BIM will be practiced correctly, right? And also in encouraging on research itself, and also we also try to actually help the team, the members itself, if possible, to establish some scales of fees, okay, and also establish a professional code to conduct itself, competency and cooperation with the industry as well, right? So if there's any interest to join in the Pertubuhan BIM itself, feel free to contact the organizers, okay, for further information on that. Right. A bit of a background. Okay. I'm the managing director of Geo Delta System, of which we have been in 19 years in business for that. So primarily we are focusing on laser scanning, and I think my personal interest was more on the modeling itself. Okay. So we're moving on to scan to model, scan to BIM in around 2010, 2012 itself. Okay. And also I think lately I think everyone is aware about BIM as how it can play a part in our so-called construction itself. Okay, we also get very lucky that to be involved in some of the design and build projects. Okay, and we'll be sharing some of the methods that of which we can perform on the as build verifications on that. Right, I think more pictures. Okay, let's word itself. Okay, let me share some more on that itself. Yeah. A bit more on that. If everyone actually were to practice BIM, I would encourage, okay, least of it, you would do some standardization itself. So as for us, okay, we kumpul for about the 4-5 years being experienced in terms of design and build, and about 10 over years being experienced in scan to BIM, and then we obtain a certificate in BSI, British Standard International certificate in ISO 19650-2. I think this is a good practice. If it's a good certifications to for everyone who practice BIM itself, yeah, okay. Those intend to go for local Malaysia industrial or go abroad itself. It helps at least something that there we have some standards in terms of practice on that, yeah. Okay. Now, I suppose maybe some or maybe of which you are not exposed to BIM, but of those who are exposed to BIMs, okay, there are some good practices as well. So for local practices itself, we have JKR BIM Panduan itself, okay, of which if you were to do some federal project itself, okay, there were very good Panduan from design, okay, to construction, so as to deliver the experience for them. So as equivalent to international itself, there'll be ISO, okay, 19650 part 1, 2, and 3 itself, whereby there's good references if you happen to want to develop your own standards, okay, to make yourself competitive in the industry on that. Okay. Now, today, okay, this is my extract. Okay, as you can see on the left hand side is a point cloud. Okay, the bawah sini pun is a point cloud as well. Okay, why we're showing that itself? On the left hand side itself, you can see that this is more towards in terms of asset management for that. Yeah. Okay. So now to talk about that assets. Okay. Every so-called built environment project itself, when we have projects, okay, there will be so-called the funder the funder, whereby the funder will have some objective, whether it's build in a building itself or build infrastructures. So that's where the aim it is. They have an organization aim for that. Now, okay, I think traditionally we can classify into two categories. of which when we have a new projects, okay, new design and build projects, conventional project itself, normally you could hear BIM lah, okay, here BIM itself coming in to help to reduce cost, shorten time, okay, reduce so-called VR, VO and so forth. So whereby BIM actually can or scan to BIM or scanning itself can come in the picture during the project information requirement. Okay. As for how about for existing project itself? Okay. So for any existing building itself, whereby we have lots of old buildings, okay, whether there is a ada blueprint ke, tak ada blueprint ke, okay, so you have to manage that as sebagai asset for that. So you the asset manager, the so-called the asset management company itself, okay, might have to have a certain objective, yeah. So with that objective itself, okay, then you establish the requirement, okay. So why we are saying here because we will try to actually emphasize, okay, how important is the as-built, how important is the the drawing, the 2D and 3Ds come into pictures, okay, whereby they're playing a very important parts, okay, in delivering, okay, a project information model, in delivering the asset information models on that. So today we have some best practice systematic approach, okay, some a proven case study, okay, whereby I would like to share with everyone. I mean, a little bit back to here itself. This is point cloud, okay, of which it's not flew by drone. It was conducted by a terrestrial laser scanning. I suppose we can also fly by UAV itself, okay. If we happen to fly any of us flying a UAV, can generate point cloud. But in this exercise itself, it was a so-called macam how to say it's a by plus punya requirement, okay, in Peninsula, whereby they would like to have digitalization of their asset. So when we consult the customer itself, we say, are you going to do 2D? Yeah, we're going to have to update our 2D itself. They said, why not you going from 2D to 3D? So this project has been done in 2019, okay, 2018 to 2019, ada dua fasa lah for that matter. So completed almost about 12 locations or plus punya asset. And generally, we scan to BIM, we apply a level of detail 300, okay, to accomplish it, okay, for that matters for scanning. You can call it maybe a verification. You can call it a measure as measured drawing for that matters, okay. So maybe different names, okay. But end of the day itself, we are extracting the point clouds, okay, to develop the asset information on that. Yeah. At the bottom here, there's another good story whereby it's an airport, okay. In this case, slightly different. It's not a BIM project, but basically we'll be able to using this scanning to produce some so-called monitoring studies on that. Yeah, okay. Of course, you can see this is the airport runway, taxiway, and then there'll be a terminal. Okay, it happened that you come across any projects from airport required as built. Okay, that can be applied as well. Now, it's some slides that we'd like to show with you. Okay, even at international level itself, there are some specifications already supported saying that, okay, there are requirement, okay, during the process of delivering the asset to, there's some requirement at the clause number 5 here. Also, the information required here. So basically, you could actually advise your client not just delivering the model, but together with the informations, okay, for the asset management on that, okay, in terms of, delivering asset information and also the asset verification. Because I think why we emphasize that is because most of the time when we have the design, when during construction, it may not be built accordingly. Okay, so when it comes to the final as built, so we need to have some form of methods, okay, to update the drawing. Kalau if it happened that this the contractor delivering exactly, that means that you might not need to use the verification, but this is one of the methods, okay, to enhance, to assure that whatever above ceiling mechanical, electrical informations will be updated, so that in the times to come for maintenance itself, okay, the asset managers, okay, wouldn't have trouble in identifying and changing the spare parts, tukar dia punya so-called maintaining schedule and so forth lah, for that matter. Okay, so so in this way, okay, what I'm trying to say is that, okay, we need to use the right tools and right workflow in order to deliver respective punya so-called aim itself. Here, If you happen to be the project consultant, ensuring your client punya EIR, in exchange information requirement, is stated clearly. Okay, what methods is to deliver for your project information model. Okay, I am currently the BIM managers for one of the design and build projects. Okay, in dealing with that under JKR, the project requirement didn't specify using scanning, but I foresee that scanning is very important to help out to update the drawing itself. So in the very first place itself, the contractor didn't see the importance, but towards ending the project itself, there are lots of conflict, update. So scanning come to very important role lah. Okay. And for another matters itself for AIM, I think you'll be hearing a lots of maybe factory or maybe governments. Okay, they would like to update their asset itself. Okay, so they create some requirement itself. If you happen to be the consultant, BIM consultant itself, you could actually make use of the EIR to advise them in the tender spec, so that they would able to deliver exactly to the estimation. Now, I guess today this is what do you call it, a diagram that I extracted from the PAS 1192. Okay. In fact, there are a few things that I would like to highlight in this chart itself. Okay. So part A, as built. Okay, I'm not too sure you guys come across these pictures. If you will refer to PAS 1192, there will be this so-called the project life cycle delivery on that. Okay. So during this life cycle itself, this part of it is managing asset, and this part of it is managing the new building for that matter. So I shared three stages that we can come in together. Part A is whereby as built, where you can delivering as built punya ataupun as measured using laser scanning. Kalau this the project doesn't have any drawing on that. Okay, same time, if you happen to be in the construction process, whereby you want to hand over the project and you're not too sure whether the project was built correctly or not. So part B, you can use a verifications on that. Not verification using iPad. I've seen a PCSS having some verification on site using iPad. Okay, but you can actually scan the your project and then compare the design and build. Okay, using Navisworks or maybe using Revit. Okay, is to get a report on that. Okay, now one step back before that, also scanning could be applied to projects whereby they have this A&A works. Okay, you have the design punya so brownfield, what extension kan. Okay, whereby you can actually scan the environment, get the existing condition itself, and then the one extended punya so-called, let's say sekolah ke hospital ke, you can be using the scanning data and then merge together with the model for that. So that would be a very good tie-in point, when it comes to design for the architect or maybe for the M&E interfaces ataupun structures on that. Okay. This feature benefits, actually it came from our best practice ataupun years of so-called experiences. Okay. I'm not going through one by one, but you can take part into it. But again, what I'm really trying to say here is that scanning BIM, can help to resolve a lot of conflict, improve communication itself, whereby it's really able to become audit tools for that. So take a snapshot on it. Maybe during the Q&A I can further elaborate more, because I think later on I will be explaining more on the pictures on that. Now, I guess before I go into many more in terms of the workflow, these are some of the tools that we are using. This is the RTC 360 from Leica Geosystems, of which it can emit 2 million points per second, very fast, and then have HD camera, right? Also, sometimes, if you want to have mapping a large asset, you would maybe using a mobile laser scanner. This is more to infrastructure for that. This is a terrestrial mobile laser scanner. Ataupun, let's say you needed some handheld mobile scanner, of which we have in-house as well. This is good for very fast mapping to get the 2D drawings on that. So now I guess there'll be local products, there'll be China product itself. If you ask which one, of course I'll prefer the more established product on the left hand side. Of course, there are some China product as well, which is fairly price compatible as well. Okay, but the most important thing is that when we are trying to introduce the technologies, it is very important to know what are we delivering it, so that we can choose our type of technologies on that. Okay. Okay, some scanning features that we have it. Okay, as you can see, macam beli kereta lah. Okay, if we are looking at SUV car, are we looking at sedan car or maybe looking off-road? So now this is where the differences lah. On left hand side here, this is a heavy duty scanner, 1 million point per second, good for long range up to 1 kilometer, accuracy 1.2 mm, in the context of maybe a state where we have a so-called water dam. Okay, we can use this to scan the water dam punya surface, can go for monitoring on that matters. Okay, for let's say you want to be a very fast turnaround for oil and gas punya scanning environment, we can using this RTC. Okay, 2 million point per second. Okay, up to 130 meters, 1 mm as well, plus 110 ppm. For small projects, okay, maybe we're using some entry level, okay, the BLK 360G2 itself, okay. These are the scanning punya speeds, okay, up to 45 meters. Accuracy a bit not so high, but it's still able to produce a fairly good so-called details on that, okay. All come with cameras punya so-called features on that, and all be using for outdoor and indoors on that. Okay, that one was static, and this one is the mobile scanning. I think difference between static and mobile is that static, you have to use a tripod. Mobile, you can use a handheld, very fast turnaround, okay? But the accuracy is not so great, but this is very good for what? It's good for scanning above ceiling. Kalau let's say, imagine that you have a bangunan, the building, you want to scan a hospital, okay? You can scan it, tapi when you want to scan above the roof or above the ceiling though, it is very difficult to use a static, okay? It can be used, but it's very rigorous, okay? Very, very troublesome to use it. But you can actually use replaced by another so-called methods using mobile scanning, okay? We have actually attempt to use this scanning for a couple of projects itself, okay? Very, very suitable, okay? Lightweight, the data also usable to capture the cable tray, ACMV, okay? Whatever M&E above services for that, okay? Which is actually, I would say, quite a good experience using this BLK to go on that. Yeah. Right. Now we are not really using a lot for underground, but we find also some underground kalau cables. Once they before they laid over punya tanah, okay, you can actually using these features from Pix4D pakai to scan the cables, okay, before it's being tutup, so that we can do a verification on that. Yeah. Okay. Now, workflow that I'm sharing with you, okay, it has been used in 2006, okay, because this is where our company formed as well. Okay, it's a 19 years old punya company, so also been using we have been trying error, but the last 14 years we have also been established this as sebagai kita punya best practice lah. Okay, so all this method has been delivered more than 110 sites. Okay, maybe more than that. Okay. First thing first, okay. So when you have a subject matters, okay, you have to place the scanner location by location inside the building and outside the building. Okay, as you can see that these are the two different scanners that we have here, RTC 360 and the BLK Gen 2 for that matters. Okay, so we scan depending on the locations, we scan outside, inside. Okay, and of course we will engage the licensed surveyor. Okay, to perform some datum survey lah, because we need to connect the scan point to a reference point. Some other is Cassini or MRSO, okay, or ISO, okay, for that matter. So we need to connect it, okay. Then once this data collected, there has been georeference, okay. Then we using a software called Cyclone 360, okay, to merge the point cloud itself, okay. This will be a merge point cloud. We're seeing millions of points, okay, gigabytes of data itself. Then we have the so-called the virtual building, okay. Again, you may see some red color here. These are dots of the scanner positions on that. Now, I think with that itself, that's next step of modeling, okay. So every projects we have the aims, okay. We have the requirement, the budgets. So don't overdo it, because it takes time, very time consuming to deliver model. Okay, you must establish a very clear pictures of what the client wanted first. Okay, for instance, okay, at what stage, okay, at what level of detail, okay, you required. So it's whether it's level of detail 300, 400, or 500. Okay, so basically, some of it you can model, but no information. So you have to establish and tell the client, Mr. Client, this one I can do the size, shape, and location. But if you want to me to model information, we have to cooperate and get the information and then plug into the model itself. This is whereby it's very important that BIM is not just modeling, but also model together with the informations on that itself. For instance, at the bottom here, you can see that we have the bangunan, okay, and then we have the M&E, okay, firefighting, and also we have this pump area itself, okay. We can model this according to the size, shape, and location, but okay, equally we need to model the information. Example, pump brand, installation date, okay, and then examples, okay, piping, last services, and so forth, all depending on your project requirements on that. And of course, okay, this all can be done using we are using this AEC solution from Autodesk itself, okay, mainly software using Revit lah, and then together with the recap. If you don't want to use the recap, because recap, there's a good point whereby it actually can view only certain number of station. If you want to view everything at one time, we are using Leica plugin, CloudWorks itself, okay, to so-called using that sebagai dia punya plugin to model the point scan to model for that. So once it's done, according to the different discipline, architect, mechanical, electricals, and for the structural, then we publish the data for that. Okay, so these are the samples, okay, whereby we model, okay, in the federal, and then publishing the drawings for that matters. Okay, subject to client punya requirement lah. End of the day, okay, we'll be able to produce Revit model 2D drawings. Okay, the byproducts that coming from this scanning will be from the TrueView, LGS, ataupun this one. This product actually can be shared via online, supaya we can have like a so-called, you can create a Google-like environment for client to walk through for communications on that itself. Okay. So these are the scanner, okay, 360. As you can see, behind is the background of a construction. Okay, we actually enter into the construction already, early stage for that. For that matters, we are scanning the apa nama tu, the site for that matter, right? Scanning, you can see that holding an iPad itself. So the scan is about 2 minute site. You can see the red dot itself here. Okay, then it will scan automatically and then moving on. The feature of this scanner is that once you scan, okay, it has some capability to connect to the next scan itself, so that when you go back to the office itself, you will have less work in terms of combining the data, right? Okay. Just a moment. I may change the browser first. Okay, I need to run this. And okay, this is the example. Okay, Masjid Feudatrola, okay, of which we have done the scanning. Now, this is the product that we can actually show to client, okay, for more on communication, okay. The scanner actually can run through like a fly-through on it. It's a bit fuzzy because it's in 3D itself, okay, but good for as a tool of communication in terms of visualizations, okay, of the building outside, going inside itself, okay, especially when you try to talk to your client and you want to explain such very specific terms of modifications, okay, the sizes of the area, maybe the height of the building itself, okay, all can be gathered from this byproduct of this so-called like LGS TrueView for that matters, okay. Okay, on another hand itself, okay, this is another features that a product that can be used from scanning. Okay, so you click on it, the red dot itself, it becomes 2D viewing for that. So that one was 3D fly-through. This is about the so-called virtual walkthrough that we can, go station by station. All right, it's a feature good. I think so far, okay, we have tried this one, and the clients are mostly very so-called pleased with this kind of tools, okay, because it helps them to reduce site revisit, okay, especially site quite far away, when you want to do the A&A works for that, because we are talking on the same thing, or sometimes we have a different consultant, different location itself. This would be very good tools compared to WhatsApp. Okay, WhatsApp call sometime, or WhatsApp phone, because the pictures you are not too sure where are we taking this picture from. But using this itself, yeah, we can jump from one station to another station for that. That at least we're talking of the same subject matters on that. Okay, right. Now I guess those are the scanning. Okay, these are the examples. Okay, that scanning can produce. Okay, this is a very good example. This is about 2000, very long ago, 2000 maybe 12 or 13, when we did a small exercise with Jabatan Warisan. Okay, so this is one dekat Lala Port in KL, whereby this is the Pudu Arch itself. So they retain this sebagai dia punya frontage lah. Sekarang ni dia tengah buat, they are doing this additional punya I think connections for them. So you see, this is good for project heritage, whereby during any so-called modification, the HEPS 1, they want to produce the as measured. Yeah? So as HEPS 1 before, and then HEPS 3 is after they have done the apa nama tu, this the rehabilitations of them. Okay, this is good examples. Okay, you can call it measure drawing, you can call it conditional survey, you can call it also apa nama tu, reconstruction for that. Anything, any names. But as you can see that, okay, maybe we have some buildings, okay, of which is very special with some facade. Okay, scanning actually can produce a very good detailed surface for that, so that you can do some reconstruction. This is a very old project in Singapore. Okay, Victoria Theatre. The purpose of here is scan the facade and produce the 2D drawings for that matters. Okay, so for large, that one was a very small project. For large area scanning or for verification, this one project is a KYA project using scanning methods. Okay, it was start beginning in 2017, completed 2020. This code can become scanning verifications or as-built, or code maybe monitoring, right? So scan to obtain the as-built services of the airport. Okay, then producing the topographic, okay, topographic punya so-called the features, okay, and the as-built plan for their punya the terminal. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, scanning can be applied to perform monitoring as well for the matters. Okay, let's go by producing drawing, section drawing as well. Okay, now this is one example I would like to share with everybody. If you happen to come across any project, international or local, whereby you need to you need to install very highly precise machine, but unfortunately the contractor didn't do a good flat punya so-called surfaces. How to come across that? Okay, how we do overcome that to have a flatness report. Now scanning basically, okay, you can compare design and as-built. So in this example here, okay, the red color one is macam surface, macam is like overbuilt lah. Okay, this project actually they aim looking for less than 4 mm punya so-called flatness itself. So the red color indicated, okay, these are the area that, okay, it's not flat. So then the contractor had to find a remedy lah, okay, to ensure that, okay, the flooring too, it will become 0 mm, because maybe the installation require high end. Maybe they can put in some apa nama tu layer of material to make it flat on that itself. Okay, so there will be a report, okay, whereby it can indicate at where location there are the differences on, right? I guess some others laser scanning also can become verification for the lab survey or building condition assessment. Okay, examples here. Okay, this is the example that we've done it for a pilot project. We try to see whether scanning can identify the crack. It looks fine. Okay, you can see the top part here. Actually scan again and can do some measurements on that. Of course, this only macam it's like the basis of the survey. If happen that they require building forensic, maybe further on they can put in some sensor up on the tape, okay, to see there will be any further deteriorations in terms of the cracks for that matters. But at least of it, okay, we can initially identify where are the crack by location. Okay, why by location? Because when we scan, okay, we can actually tagging, okay, if there's any so-called the report lah. So it's very good as well because when it comes to big size or sizable project itself, okay, you have lots of report, okay, and most of the maybe QS, maybe building surveyor or engineers or architect, they will have to do a study and there'll be lots of photo that you're taking and then you have to tag it and right location. But if you happen to apply laser scanning itself, okay, to be very easier, whereby you can actually with the end of iPad itself, you scan your attached location so you can orientate it properly on that. Okay, it's internal as well, okay, and so forth. Now another examples, okay, this is a bridge, okay. I think this is a long time examples that we've done it for Singapore, right? Old bridge, they want to scan to convert into model, okay. This up to bolts and nuts. Maksudnya, you can see this example, okay, we actually model according to the nuts location itself, yeah, okay, and the size of that. Right. These are some of the new projects that we've been doing, okay, sharing with everybody. I'm sure that maybe each state you have your own asset where we want to do some improvement, you want to change the design and so forth, tapi there's no drawing. So in this case itself, scanning to model can be proposed, okay, to the client itself in order to capture the assets condition prior giving to the architect, prior giving to the structural engineers, and also maybe the M&E to change the design or update for that matters. Okay, so scan to BIM is a very good basis, okay, to provide this so-called size, shape, and locations on that. These are the old examples in with the collaboration with Jabatan Tanah dan Hukum on heritage site itself. Kingston Tower, okay, in KK, Masjid Bandar dekat Tawau, sorry, okay. Lighthouse, okay, and so-called this the bell tower for them. So I understand that in Sarawak also there are some very good iconic heritage, okay, that can be using for scan to beam as well, okay, in order to preserve the iconic punya so-called building, okay, in terms of virtual, okay, virtual preservations, okay, also have I think we call it maybe digital twins, okay, you have it in record in digital. If anything, then you need to maintain or to update to maintain, that can be okay, restored for that matters. Our works also have been published, okay, together with international level, okay. This is support works in with a Professor Ahmad Ghaffar from USM, retired already about last year. So this is a work that done for Penang Museum, okay. It's been published under SCU NARA. It's also a very good article saying it here, the house can to beam can come in the pictures. This one was 2014 itself, as you can see. Professor Ahmad Ghaffar, is him here, okay? So this is the Penang Museum. You scan the facade, everything, and then produce our drawing for that, okay? This is the examples, okay? We do it meshing, and then we are performing the drawings on them, okay? These are the examples that we did it for some old buildings with Istana Kayangan, okay? Something that for as measured drawing, right? So conventionally, maybe they're using hand-drawn, but yeah, it can be done by photo, also can be done by laser scanning, okay? So these are the available methods of that. Now, this is a very good examples, okay? It's perform, okay, we call it verification, measure drawing. Masjid, okay, Sultan Salahuddin Abdul Aziz Shah, okay. This is an old project in 2014, 2015, okay. Replacement of the panel exercise, whereby they don't have that as-built drawing. We scan 1 mm, okay, from the 4th tower of this masjid itself in order to reverse engineering the panel for that matters, okay. The kuba, the hot, okay, and then okay, the shoulders for that matters, okay. You can see that, okay. So yeah, this one examples. Other than that, okay, another projects that we also good to share with it, okay, using photogrammetry method itself, okay. If you happen to come across in DBP, okay, Dewan Bahasa Pustaka, there was a mural, there is a mural there. The mural was actually so-called have a wear and tear in terms of the tiles, and also the color was a bit gone with the so-called ages lah. So there was a replacement exercise. Okay, so scanning together with Professor Abdul Ghaffar. Okay, Ahmad Ghaffar itself. Okay, we did scanning also to mapping this mural for them, about 1.5 million tiles. Okay, replacement. Once we map it, okay, we sort it out for the color itself, and then we do a mapping on that, and then send to the factory, reverse engineer, and then reinstall back for that. Yeah. So this is how the high resolution pictures on that. Okay, right. Now I guess this is also very good examples. Okay, whereby in this staircase in Parliament. Okay, our Parliament in Peninsula KL. Okay, so our project long time ago, I'm sure everybody came to know that Parliament was undergoing some renovation. Okay, so the staircase was scanned prior for the we had the so-called the HEPS one. Okay, in order to produce the drawing. Okay, for maintenance purposes lah, because there's no drawing for that matters. Okay, right. This is another examples. Okay, for scanning some quill. Okay, in near Batu Cave itself. Right. So from there itself, we didn't model, but we scan and mashing it and then produce like a layout for that matters. They are using it to apply it sebagai heritage site for that matters. Okay. Other than that, okay, these are some of the scan to BIM works. Okay, this fairly straightforward. Scan the building inside and outside. Okay, according to different disciplines on that. Right. Then so these are the good examples. Okay, scanning one building sometimes could be take 2 days, 3 days, or half a day, subjected to the size, subjected to the what do you call it, subject matters. Okay, how many levels? Okay, we're going in. Okay, but this you can see that it's clearly that there will be a location of the roof structures, the column, okay, the beams. Okay, so when we using okay, it's just like Lego. Okay, after we scan it, we just model part by part. And these are good examples. Okay, for structural, this is a hanger in Subang. Okay, scan the hanger itself and then producing the hanger positions on that. I think this is more towards they want to do maybe the structure studies on that. Okay, right. So these are the result of the hanger itself, and then there'll be drawings on that itself for the MVP. Of course, it can be extended to oil and gas. I think scanning come into oil and gas in year 2004, 2005. Okay, so it has been widely accepted by Petronas. Okay, in all the so-called brownfield projects. Okay, in all the brownfield projects. Yeah. Okay, where they scan it, then they model it to PDMS or maybe Integraph. Then they produce the ISO, they produce the PNID and everything. Okay, then send it to the front-end engineering design, and then to proceed for the design proposal. So in this case, this is oil and gas. It's not oil and gas. This is a palm oil plantation area. Okay, so you can see that it's very useful to scan the entire plant in order to map up the drawings of the pipings. Okay, the valve. Okay, the flanges. Okay. Say any modification itself, there will be less uncertainty in terms of the design, in terms of the modifications on that. Okay, so this is the model that has been produced from scan to model. Okay, right, then what's next? So BIM model. Okay, so I guess generally, okay, how we do it. So we had the point cloud. Okay, the point cloud itself, then we draw according to the size and shape, like the families. Okay, and so forth. Okay. So from here itself, this is how we're producing it. Okay. So as you can see that, okay, this is like a view from the recap. Okay. So you had to build the family. Okay. You had to build it, everything step by step. Okay. In order to just plug and play into the model for the methods. Okay. This level, this is a point cloud, you can still say. Okay. Aras bawah. Okay. And then we have the aras bawah for, hang on, from here itself, we produce on that. Okay. Yeah, this is the first floor. So we have the gap here. This is where you have your RC. Okay, so this is not it's not a void. Because we cannot scan it, we know the thickness itself. We know that this is our RC for that matter, and this is the column. Okay, so we have the door and so forth. So it's just like what you do in your design. Okay, but in this case, we are reverse engineering on that. Okay, Now, I guess generation of the model itself, if you see the pictures from point cloud, okay, then you model part by part, then you get a 3D model. Okay, so in terms of new design, basically, we had create a design first, then we produce the model on that. So in fact, this is another way around. Okay, just a reverse way of doing it. Okay, examples. Okay, we have one subject matters. Okay, architect and structural models. Okay, whereby we produce mechanical electrical. It's very common that nowadays there will be a bomba requirement whereby they want to have the as-built drawing. Okay, for bomba cert punya so-called applications on that. I guess most of the government building. Okay. Might not have the as-built, so this become the bomba requirements on that because they want to avoid pembakaran, the issues on that. Now, I guess scan to BIM is just one application of BIM itself. Okay, so it's easier than the design because we already have all the the infrastructure has been completed. But of course, saying that, okay, there are difficulties as well. Meaning that scanning the ceiling lah. Okay, most of the exposed so-called M&E, exposed architectural, exposed structure is easy to scan. But when it comes to unexposed, where we have cladding, we have above ceiling. Okay, this is where the challenges lah. Okay, so if anyone come across that itself, okay, that has to be so-called talk to the client clearly what client want. Okay, so that they don't caught in surprise. Okay, hey, how come only scan bawah tapi above ceiling tak scan? So it depends on the limitations on that. So now I guess you can see that this is the workflow. Okay, so measure drawing, production, scan to BIM approach. Okay, we have the subject matters. We scan outside the building. We scan inside the building itself. Okay, then other part, detail parts itself, we're producing accordingly for that matters. Okay, once you have the 3D models for that, okay, there'll be your according to your SOP or client SOP itself, requirement itself, you produce the drawing for active and also the passive drawings for mobile applications on that. Okay, it's more towards fire cert applications for the matters. Okay, I would say a straightforward process on that. Okay, the rest is some modeling. Okay, this is an examples of plus highway. This is examples of plus highway of case itself. Yeah, and you can see that the topographic is being scanned. Okay, the model for that matters. Okay, it was a so-called good exercise. Okay, introduced to them, and some of you might notice. Okay, some of the area is no longer the same. I guess because they are not. It's not viable to maintain that building itself, and then just they torn it down itself and rebuild on that surface. So these are the examples, as you can see. So not only for like peninsula examples, okay, whereby R&R, there are lots of tall building, I suppose from Kerajaan one doesn't have any drawings for that, okay. So it will be a good way of, promoting to your state government itself, scan to model, scan to BIM, in order to, promoting on digital twins, okay, supaya any modification futures, okay, can be get ready on that, okay. Okay, these are some of the rendered pictures on that itself. Okay, so you can see that we are not an architect, but okay, as you go on site, okay, these are exactly the same set situation, provided they are not changing or upgrading, right? But then these good examples, okay, of the OBR Sungai Buloh, okay, the layouts, right? For that matter, the section drawings, okay, topographic on top, then to southbound, you can see that, okay. Layout on that itself, yeah, okay, right, okay. These are quite a fair bit of examples, okay, for that. So of course, there are something that we can create as well from the 2D to 3D or 3D point cloud to 3D model. I think if you happen to use some other software, okay, this could be a very good storytelling lah of the facility that you have actually wanted to scan it and then convert into 3D model. Finally, we can present it into 3D, macam 3D like virtual work tool lah. Okay, so this will be a very good way of explaining to a project stakeholder, okay, what is your project all about for that matters. Okay, maybe it's not a rendered type, but it's good enough, with this kind of rendered, okay, showing the pictures for that matters. Okay, It looks a bit attractive for that matters. Okay. Under plus project lah, for that matters, right? So you can see that you can zoom in. Okay. Take away the rooftop, expand it, what's going on, right? And zoom and then place on another area itself. Okay. This one we use Fuso. Okay, Fuso. We subscribe. I think Fuso is made by Hong Kong developer, FUZOR. Okay, it's good software for that matters. Okay, right. So this one, yeah, walkway with a bit of material assigned to it, and then they walk through on that. I'm sure if you use other render software, it can be better. Okay, this is just some old showcase on that. Okay. Right, the data itself, okay. So we talk about just now the BIM, the scanning, the BIM model, okay. Don't forget about the data, okay. So when it comes to data itself, it's very important that you have it. We call it BIM, building information modeling, okay. So now I'm talking the iPad itself, information, okay. So the iPad is very equally important, okay, because we want to make the model become intelligent for that. So if you happen to be the asset manager, you have become the BIM manager itself, okay, please emphasize all these informations are keying in so that the model is not a dummy model, okay, because it's good, you build one building, you last 50 years, okay. So these parameters equally very, very important, okay, to give the stakeholder, the project director to know what to purchase and so forth. And of course, okay, if you are in design build projects, okay, in JKR, there will be a DA6, DA7 form, okay, of which you need to fill up, okay. This shall be the important information in order to enable the asset managers to manage the assets for that matters, okay, all right. So there are two parts itself, okay, you need to fill out the forms, and this form convert to in the model itself, and then this model become intelligence on that, okay. So last kali is the document lah. So from there on itself, okay, as good as we are the supporting services for architect, then producing a scan to BIM, okay, is according to BIM format dalam architect drawings, okay, structural drawings for that matters, okay, electrical, right, and also the mechanicals on that, yeah, okay. So of course, okay, if there's a passive for bomba submission itself, you also need to know the UBBL ways of representing things itself, okay. So these are the examples of bomba active drawings, okay, and so forth. Right, lastly, you publish drawing. I guess I have few more things to share with you regarding okay. So this is some other topic from BIM verification. Currently, this project still ongoing at Kota Baru, okay, bangunan serbaguna, okay, Tunjung at Kota Baru for that, okay. So as a BIM manager, okay, at a very early stage, I already emphasize, okay, scanning is the way, part of it to do verification. So you can see the scanner we put on site, starting from the foundation here already, okay. So what we did was that every stage when we scan and when the builder builds, okay, we scan floor by floor. So this is on the left hand side is scanning. On the right hand side is we merge the scanning together with Naviswork, okay, in order to determine they are all built accordingly. You know why it's important? Because as a BIM manager, right, we need to ensure that the BIM LOD 500 is delivered properly, okay. Site, shape, and location. Of course, equally the information is required. So that's why we see it. And of course, the lesson learned from here is not only for building the LOD 500, but also can improve communications. Okay, we know that during construction, it's quite kacau bilau lah, quite havoc sometimes. Sometimes contractors, you give them drawing, they are not building accordingly. So there were lots of finger pointings, built incorrectly. Nasib, we were scanning it. Okay, we did so-called avoid some conflict. Okay, on site, I have some slide above it. But of course, we also received some good comment. Okay, if a proper executed BIM projects, okay, this is commented by one of the ACMB guy. Okay, if it's properly executed, okay, the coordination in terms of the system itself, okay, and then we laid, okay, properly we have very, very minimum clash on that. Okay, so okay, these are the good examples. We scan, we verify on that. Yeah, okay, that itself. Okay, sorry, before jump to it, okay, This is some example we did for one client, okay, in KL, right? Scan to verify using the BLK to go. All right. So the client wasn't very sure during the LD 300 and the LD 5 level development 500 was actually matching or not. So they engaged to come up with this scanning. We using BLK to go scan above the ceiling itself. And you can see that these above ceiling services like the SCMV, the firefightings, okay, all being connected. So it's a very good tools, okay, if anyone of the client want to verify it, okay, using this lightweight BLK to go, can scan the above ceiling and connect, and then you compare to your MNE, okay, and so forth. Then you convince your client, said, okay, Mr. Client, is according or not according to the spec, okay? Then let the client to decide on that, okay? This was the examples about 3 years ago, okay? I would say it's very successful, a very strong, how to say, give us a very strong heart lah, okay? Pushing above ceiling scanning for that matters, okay? Using handheld scanner, okay? Not static, is using handheld scanner, okay? Using the Leica BLK to go handheld scanners for that, okay? We are very pleased with that. So, okay. Okay. Now this is the benefit of verifications. Okay. So first of all, is lesson learned shared by NSC. Okay. Laser scanning. Okay. Facilitate streamlined coordinations and enhance coordination so that AC stakeholder ensure better and faster decision making. When all project stakeholders collaborate, there's improved communication and transparency for successful project execution. Now, you look at the left hand side here. This is where hang on, the purple or blue color here is the design. Okay, this pink color is the design. But when we scan, the installation actually is the gray color. You see the gray color. Okay, meaning what? Meaning that it's not installed according to the design. So what is going to happen? Sorry, what's going to happen? Meaning that this is some potential. It's fine if there's not a very so-called complicated area, and it doesn't affect anything. Okay, if it's any very complicated area, it will say, okay, BIM has clash. Okay, this is not clash free. So what happened in this situation? They are trying to blame each other lah. Okay, hey, BIM, you guys model is not done properly. We have clashes. I said, is it? So okay, no argument. Let's bring out the scanning and verify. So happened that we scanned and then we found out, oh, this is your design. This is as built. All right. So you actually didn't do accordingly. So they don't have any excuses. The next day, they actually what do you call it? They are redoing it. Okay, according size. So this reduce a lots of complications for that matters. Right. Now, next examples. Okay, maybe we can talk about the value of the progress evaluations. Okay, it can become progress claiming as well. Okay, maybe not under claim or not the old claim. If you happen to overlay the design and scanning itself, you see clearly, okay, where is the stage of so-called the construction facade. Okay, there'll be one applications on that. Okay, you can see that once you scan it, overlay, you know where has been so-called installed properly, where is it not. So potentially or not, it would affect the project progress or not, because if it on-site clashes itself, it will delay it because some other people cannot do the installations on that. Okay. Now this one good examples. Okay, case study 1. Okay. Now you can see that red color is the point cloud. Okay, then we have the model, right? It's so happened that, okay, we are looking at this area. Now, I think you can see the model. It's a moment. The model here is up to this side, but scanning here. So you have the BIM model. We have the 3D laser scanning. So what is tolerized? The discrepancy is less than 25 mm. Fine, it's okay. Doesn't affect too much within construction's tolerance 30 mm. Fine, no issues on that. Yeah, right. So for other area, that's okay. Case number two. Case number two, we have another case for the wall itself, whereby this is the straight wall of design, and then this is the as-built. Okay, in this situation, itself, it's the tolerance is more than 30 mm and it's slanting. So as a BIM manager, we reported to the project manager. Okay, hang on, there is some by eye level also you can witness there's some slanting. Okay, so let the project manager to decide, okay, whether they had to tear it down or they go ahead with it. So, but I guess, okay, we raise an alarm to the project manager, okay, of the build quality itself. Okay, that could resolve a lot of trouble when it comes to the acceptance by the clients on that. Okay, right. I think almost come to the end. Okay, some of the feature and benefits. Okay, that and I'm listed down here. I'm not reading part by part, so you can capture by screen itself. Okay, there will be a lots of so-called benefits that can enhance communications on that itself over time. Okay, and also reducing costs and so forth. So this technology has been coming to Malaysia since 2001. Okay, I was involved with it. Okay, from very beginning on that. So after 25 years, okay, it has been so-called extended to many field. Okay, and of course there are lots of challenges in terms of implementations, in terms of adoptions and training as well. But it's not a rocket science. Okay, I suppose if your organization is involved in this line, okay, I urge you to look into laser scanning. Okay, can contact me. Okay, directly. Okay, because that will enhance. Okay, your company business. Okay, maybe your relationship with your clients on that itself. Okay, so that helps to fasten the train or the future for that matters. Okay. So I said, without further ado, I'll thank you for listening. And this is my contact. You can give me a call, direct, or email me for further informations. And we have a Q&A after this itself. Okay. And we go through one by one. Okay, looking at the message itself. Yeah. Okay. So thank you.
All right, so thank you very much, yes, Razak, for sharing your knowledge in what was a very engaging session. I'm sure we've all somewhat gained some insights on the usage of laser scanning in a construction industry and how it can add value to the construction processes throughout different phases of the project. So yeah, as we reflect on the possibilities unveiled during the presentation, let's move on to the Q&A session. So maybe I'll kickstart for one question, maybe as a BIM modeler as well, from a perspective, are there any challenges in like processing, analyzing, and interpreting the large volumes of data generated by laser scanning in the construction projects?
I say yes and no. Okay, I think for BIM modeler, for BIM coordinator or BIM managers, okay, as far as the data point cloud is clear, okay, so I guess let's say what type of job are we are doing, and depending on the machine that we are engaging for that matters. Okay, so why we are using Leica, because this technology gives us a very clear data and also very good and highly accurate data itself. So we have no, first of all, we are not worrying about our data accuracies or that. Okay, that's number one. Number two is when you engage this sort of job, okay, you need to be very clear of what are you looking at. Are you looking at just architecturals, mechanical electricals, or structures for that? So scanning is very fast. Maybe you talk about 2 minutes, okay, one scan, but positioning the scanners on site in order to get the detail, that's another so-called by experience itself. You need to be very clear what you are trying to reach. Okay, so some clients say, hey, I want to have a layout, it's fine. Okay, and no M&E, that's fine. But some clients say, hey, I want M&E, I want every plug point I want to have. Then you have got to be very careful on that. Okay, I want M&E above the ceiling itself. Then you have got to be very careful on that, because Sometimes they are on site in a situation that doesn't allow you to conduct the measurements on that. So you have to negotiate with the client itself. But most importantly, you need to go on site, have a look first. So for modeling perspective, I would say it's straightforward. As long as the data is clear, you know the objective of your clients required. I think there's no issues on that. Okay. Mhm.
Right, thank you for the response, yes, Razak. So our next question is from Pravin Ulan. She asks, what level of detail LOD is required for the as-built model to be useful for various purposes, e.g., facility management, maintenance?
I would recommend level of detail 300, for the size, shapes, and locations, because I think that is a very moderate detail, not until the side, the bolts and nuts itself, from a macro level, that's good enough. LD 300 for that. If you really want to have fabrications, bolts and nut, maybe that will be subject to case basis for that matters. But the first way important thing is to get a level of detail 300 for overall first. You would know the number of, the size of you're dealing with. You know the number of lines that you're dealing with, of the pipelines itself, maybe all the M&E disciplines for that, then you could recommend the clients, hey, this is the number of FM facility that you have in hand itself, then that's the 300 itself. Of course, you have to deal with the client. I say, Mr. Client, do you have information on that itself? That's equivalent to build information on top. So that will be a meaningful data. I hope I answered that.
Thank you again, yes, Razak. So our next question comes from Angelina John, who asks, can we automate the process of extracting features and information from point cloud data? What are your insights on that?
We at the moment we are not using any software like that equivalent, but I come across there are some software that can do that. But let me share with you why we are not doing that. First of all, is that we find that even though we use automations, we still need the checker. You still need a checker, and sometimes you have omissions, because that software, how reliable is that software? Of course, if you're talking about R&D, I have time, I have money, that's fine. So that I can research into it. But I think for our private projects itself, it's practically we don't have trial and error. So we actually choose to do the manual method itself. But for information, they are automated. But how automated, how did the software is able to recognize it? So I couldn't tell. But yeah, maybe certain piping they can up to 80%. But if the data is not sufficient, that's too noisy, that will affect your modeling as well. So that's really subjected itself. But I would prefer to go manual at the time being as soon as, because it's more effective for that matters. I don't have a checker to do it, to deliver proper projects on that.
All right, thank you again. Another question comes from Mr. Ping Si Ying. A licensed surveyor is required to provide endorsement when conducting an as-built BIM. Is a licensed surveyor required?
I think if in Peninsula there is a new rules, of which there is a licensed surveyor to engage in BIM itself, So I guess this is an area that it depending on the client, it depends on the client itself. Now, if it's for submission itself, for authority and so forth, I mean, you can collaborate with any of the BIM modeler. You can collaborate with a licensed surveyor, because licensed surveyor, basically, I would say that when we deal with a project, we need to have a boundary survey, that boundary stones for that. We have to scan it. We have to scan and then adopt the boundary for that. So as long as assigning the proper coordinates into it. But again, coming into scanning inside the detail, if the licensed surveyor have knowledge in scanning and producing drawing, why not? But if it does not, then they would have to collaborate together with the BIM managers, the BIM modeler, because this is all engineering architectural drawings for that. So the client, I mean, if you are a contractor, the client wouldn't say, hey, are you a licensed surveyor or are you engineers? So the client will say that, are you producing to what expected I want for that matters? So from one aspect itself, you can say by law, yes, it's like that. But again, clients say, hey, yes, it's by law, but by law, am I getting what I want? Okay, from the proper measure drawings. So I would say that that's why even though we do projects, we collaborate together with licensed surveyor. Hey, Mr. Licensed Surveyor, could we collaborate and produce the coordinates? Okay, yes, we can do it. Okay, it's subjected to the client itself. Okay, what kind of requirement they are putting in for the matters.
All right, thank you. I think one last question from our chat box comes from Fravlin Ulan again, who asks, how can we leverage IoT, AI, machine learning, or other emerging technologies to improve as-built data collection and analysis?
There are lots of methods. Now you have camera, you have camera, you have 360 camera can do it. Okay, there are some tools in it, but how expensive, how economical is that? That's number one. Okay, AI, yes, there are some considered AI because they can load the model and can load the point out into it. Again, okay, to me, it's cost oriented for that matters. Okay, machine learning, I'm not come along for that matters, but the one I couldn't answer for that. Okay, it's other emerging technologies to improve SU data collection and analysis. Um, Even so, there are technologies like Gaussian splatting. There are videos converted to models for that matters. They are handheld. There are a number of technologies for that. Okay, but the message we want to get across is that just to ensure that this technology could produce the end product. That will be the rule number one. Okay. So there's so many choices of technology. Again, okay, what type of technology they deliver is subjected to the practitioners on that itself. So how can we leverage? I would say the number of is either you try and error, okay, because there's no right, there's no wrong on that. There's no right, there's no wrong on that. But I guess if you want to do a real projects, okay, what I'm sharing here is a real project for that. Maybe it's old methods, okay, but it's usable to deliver exactly what client. But of course, we have to think about the cost of that itself, not just leveraging the technologies for collections, but as analysis, just now I shared, there can be flatness, there can be so-called, verifications on that. Okay, but again, okay, only if this requirement is built into client list of BQ, okay, so make it, to be commercial, then I guess it will be more anticipated by the markets on that. Okay, but again, come back to the question itself. There are so many. So yeah, I've seen PCSS so-called advertisement just now. You have also iPad. You have also site verification on that. I think that's going to be a IoT. Okay, in terms of data collections. Okay, and analysis on that. So it depends on the client whether they buy the ideas or not.
All right, thank you. Seems like we have one more question to address, which comes from Miss Fatin Shahira. And she asks, can BIM help with cost estimation?
BIM, yeah, BIM is supposed to do the cost estimation because you have all the disciplines, okay, size, shape, and location. By right, BIM, you have for 4D, 5D, 60, 7D. All right, 4D is time, 5D is the cost for that matters. But at the moment, it's still not famous yet in terms of broad application because commercially, whether it has to cooperate together with the QS, okay. BIM is just BIM, it's just modeling. But if you don't cooperate with the QS, okay, it's only 3D. And a BIM consultant can do up to 4D by all means, okay. Time, okay, time 4D. But for the cost itself, it could be the 5D itself, okay, whereby you need to insert the items. It's a very, very interesting subject because I suppose maybe some of the so-called private sector already practices 5D itself because they can model exactly to the items itself according to the size and shape by unit itself. Then you can count it, okay, for that. Yes, the answer is yes.
Thank you. I guess that's all we have time for Q&A. So yeah, I want to also remind everyone that if we couldn't get to your questions during the webinar, or if you have additional questions, our speaker will be happy to address them by email. Okay, so yeah, in wrapping up the session, we've been treated to a presentation that was both informative and inspiring. A special thank you goes to our speaker for sharing his valuable insights. So, TS Razak, do you have any parting words?
I think to share with you, I'm a BIM practitioner. Okay, I also pursuing scanning. Okay, in my early career until now. Okay, so give it a try. Okay. I think the market, the demand is there. BIM is there. Right. Scanning is sooner or later. Okay, BIM practitioner might be able to produce scanning. Okay, services to the construction of that. You know, uh, you know, uh, try to be bold and then introduce to your client itself and then tell them, explain to them why scanning is required. Okay, why verification is required, because at the end of the day, uh, as a consultant, as a practitioner itself, okay, we foresee if it's not engaging in that way, right? There'll be more works for us to engage in LD 500. Okay, this is why I said beginning and end with beginning with an end in mind. Okay, so we have 300, then we have to deliver 500. If it's not so-called built accordingly, or which sometimes it happen, okay, then it's a repeating job at the LD 500 for that. So, but in order to avoid that itself, there must be some auditing tools. Okay, so I think that helps us out. Now, be bold. Be trying to persuade your client on that. Yeah, I think that's should be the consultant way of doing things. So. Mm.
All right, thank you, TS Razak, again for those parting words. So, yeah, additionally, we have a moment ahead as we present a certificate of appreciation to TS Razak for his contribution as today's guest speaker. So, yeah, TS Razak, thank you once again for conducting this
Thank you.
presentation.